One type of function that we can make when looking at a sequence is called a recursive function. Now, a recursive function is always going to have two parts. You could see part one right here and part two down here. The first part is always going to say what term you're looking at. So each of these numbers up here, these are called terms. All right, so we have here 15 is the first term, second term, third term, and so on. So the very first part of our function is going to say f of 1. Now this means that the first term is, and then we're going to put a number right here. So the thing that's going to go in this first blank is literally whatever the first term is, because f of 1 means the first term. So looking up here, the first term is 15. So that's going to go in this blank right here. Now the next part, this one's a little more complicated. So this right here, f of x, that means any term. Okay, so f of x equals, now f of x minus 1 means the previous term. Previous term. These are kind of like instructions on how are you moving from one term to the next. So any term, like this term over here, would equal the previous term. And then what you're going to do is you're going to describe how are you moving from one term to the next. So f of x equals f of x minus 1 literally means to get a new term, look at the term before it, and then we got to figure out what's happening. So here, I'm looking at my sequence and I'm not quite sure what's happening. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of look and say, okay, if I take my second term and subtract the first term, let's figure out what's happening there. 21 minus 15 is 6. So if we're thinking correctly, to move from one term to the next, I think we're adding 6. So let's double check that. 15 plus 6 should equal 21. 21 plus 6 is 27. 27 plus 6 is 33, and so on. So our constant difference is 6. And so you can kind of see here, f of x equals f of x minus 1 plus 6 will be the last part of that function.